Hello everyone, my name is Dave Partner, it's your boy, and today, still following on the tithe issue that has been raging in Nigeria, I'm bringing you the next development on tithe issue. There is a pastor of, his name is Dr. Abel Damina, and he's the pastor of Power Chapel Ministries. As you can see, Dr. Abel Damina Ministries, Power Chapel Ministries, he founded it in 1992. Is one of the big churches in Nigeria. This pastor has come to reply Freeze. Now, Freeze is the name of a radio presenter. Let me show you. This radio presenter has been telling Nigerians on his radio show that they should stop paying tithes to pastors, that the pastors are milking them dry, that paying tithes is unchristian, even though it is biblical. So he said that the instruction for paying tithes is in the Old Testament and not to Christians. And he said that, but the pastors stubbornly go and pick that instruction in the Old Testament and try to use it on Christians, even though that instruction is under the law, not under grace. And Christianity is supposed to operate under grace. So, but under the law, you have to do something to get something from God. So you have to pay 10% of your income for God to bless you. If God blesses you, you have to balance back and stuff like that. So this OAP Freeze has been telling people not to pay tithes. So and this thing has got to the point that a whole lot of people are starting to ask questions. Nigerians are starting to say, what is really wrong? Why do we have to pay tithes? And people are asking their pastors and stuff like that. So what happened is that the big pastors in Nigeria have started replying this guy. In fact, for the past 2-3 weeks, pastors, all the topics on churches are on tithes. So one of the biggest churches in Nigeria is the Redeemed Christian Church of Nigeria, and the general overseer of that church is Pastor Adeboye, and he has replied Freeze and implied that Freeze is a drunkard. So Freeze himself has fired back, telling him to bring Bible verses to prove that tithe is Christian. So, and many other people have replied Freeze sentimentally. So, personally, I've not seen a pastor that actually quoted Bible verses to prove that tithing is Christian. So most of them is either most of them are just using sentiments to attack Freeze. But Freeze himself is quoting scriptures to prove his own point. And Freeze is asking them, if you think that I'm wrong, why not quote the scriptures to prove yourself right? So that has been happening, and I've been recording the developments. So the reason I'm making this particular video is that a particular guy called Dr. Abel Damina, this pastor of Power Chapel Ministries, has decided to use complete scriptures to reply Freeze. But before then, I want to show you that there is a video of Freeze actually making his case against tithing. So complete video of 31 minutes. 31 minutes. So I'll put the link to this particular video under this video I'm making. So if you check the description, you see the link to this Freeze video. Look at the Freeze guy. So he's in a radio studio. I told you he's a radio presenter. You see the link to this Freeze video where he's replying all these people. So once you watch this, then I can put the link to the reply. That this is a 1-hour reply by Abel Damina to Freeze, and he gave it as a sermon in his church. But the thing that is different about what Dr. Abel Damina said about Freeze about paying tithe is that Dr. Abel Damina actually quoted, he went in depth, verse by verse, and analyzed the whole tithe thing and came to the same conclusion as Freeze, saying that tithing is unchristian. In fact, he said that they don't pay tithe in his church, that tithing is unchristian, that it is of the Old Testament. Jesus never approved tithe, and none of the apostles approved tithe. You understand? So this guy was straightforward and brutal with the truth. Even though it's difficult for someone that is receiving 10% of everybody's income to say the truth, but I must commend this guy. This guy was straightforward. If you watch this video, you'll be like, wow. In fact, this is the most comprehensive video on tithing that I recommend to everybody. If you're a Christian and you're wondering whether you should pay tithe or not, this is the most comprehensive video. So he was quoting scripture by scripture. It's just basic Bible studies, and it's a homily in church. He gave the sermon in church, scripture by scripture. He was quoting it to prove that at the end of the day,
they didn't know Christ in you, the hope of glory. Next verse. Whom we preach, warning every man and.
So this guy kind of analyzed the whole thing, and at the end of the day, he came to the same conclusion and told his church members that tithing is not Christian. Say, if you're paying tithe, you're not doing anything Christian. But then, what he did was, at the end of the day, well, you can't just block all your sources of income. So at the end of the day, he said that the reason why they pay tithes is because they want to put food in the temple so that the people, the Levites, will be able to eat. He said now in the modern days that the pastors are the Levites. The pastors and the widows and everything, they are the ones that need the tithes. So need a portion of your income. He said that if you are giving, that you should give in the mind that you are helping the pastors and the people are in the church that don't have anything to eat. But he said that in the New Testament, there's no percentage added to giving. You're just advised to give, but there's no percentage. And he said that if you are giving to the church, you should give according to your capacity, not a certain tithe, 10% of your income. And he mentioned all the places that tithes were paid. It was paid only once, according to him. And he analyzed all the scriptures. So at the end of the day, he was telling his congregation that yes, you can give, but nobody should attach a certain specific amount for you to give. And nobody should tell you to give at certain specific intervals, like at the end of every month and stuff like that. So he was brutally honest with the truth, but at the end of the day, he still encouraged his users to give. And this time that there is no cap on what to be given, well, you have to be the one to make the judgment. So that's what I just analyzed. So I'll put the link to this particular video. Then I'll put the link to the freeze video. You need to watch the freeze video first, because this is the guy that is causing all the brouhaha in Nigeria right now. Like, Nigeria is really heated on tithes. So, and then you see Dr. Abel Damina's response. So this is the guy, the first pastor that came out to say that tithing is not scripture, is not Christian. This is the first big pastor that came out to say it. All the other big pastors, they have been cursing their congregation. They will tell you that if you don't pay tithes, you are cursed. So pastors have been saying it, and they have even been accusing Freeze of being a drunkard. So it's good watching how these things develop and how Nigerians are starting to ask questions. You understand? So I doff my cap for this guy for being strong enough to say that tithing is to analyze things the way they are, analyze the scriptures, go in depth with scriptural verses. But then remember that at the end, he put on that tip that yes, you actually have to still give, and you give without any percentage attached, which means you can give everything or you can give nothing. So, but he was brutally honest and straightforward. So I want to know what you think. Are you a Christian, and what do you think about tithing? Do you think that the pastors are milking the Christians dry? Do you think so? Do you believe that the pastors are milking the Christians dry? And if you look at the top, Forbes released top 20 richest pastors in the world, and out of that top 20 richest, 7 of them were Nigerians. 7 pastors on the top 20 list of Forbes list were Nigerians. You won't believe it. Which means these people are making a whole lot of money from Nigeria. As in, it's too much. It's happening too much in Nigeria. Nigeria is like the worst hit in the whole world. So, what do you think about what is happening? Is tithing scriptural? Do you do it because you want to get something back from God? If so, don't you think that you are still operating under the law rather than under grace, where you don't have to do anything to get something from God? Or do you do it because you want to appreciate, which means you want to somehow appreciate God for what He has done, Or do you do it because you want to make sure that your pastor doesn't go clothless? You understand? Or do you do it because you want to make sure that your pastor is among the pastors that drive private jets? Yes, some people actually donate like that to their pastors. There's one guy that donated an oil rig to his pastor. I once heard about it. So people donate cars just to make sure that their pastors are driving, or do they do it because they think that if they give the pastor, then God will give them? You know, that is under the law. You have to do something to get something. So what is your reason, and what do you think about what this Dr. Abel Damina said? What do you think about his whole sermon? Is it right? Did he make the right point? And what do you think about Freeze? This Freeze guy that is causing this revolution in Nigeria, what do you think about what he's doing? Is it devil sent? Some people say he's devil sent. Or is he doing the right thing by fighting this battle up against all the pastors, even his own pastor? There's a pastor he grew under, the pastor of House on the Rock, Pastor Paul Adeboye. Paul Adeboye preached against him, and he still countered. So he's even fighting some of his mentors because he's trying to tell Nigerians, you guys are spending all your money in churches instead of using it in other things like schools and a whole lot of things for development of the society. So what do you think? I want to hear what you think. If this is the first time that you're ever watching any of my videos, I want you to click the red subscribe button at the bottom of this video, right close to this place I'm moving this mouse. Underneath, you'll see a red subscribe button. Click it, and then once you click it, there is a bell icon that will appear just beside that button. I want you to click that bell icon too, so that once I make any video and upload, you'll be the first to get it. Alright, so what do you think? I want to hear you in the comments, and I want you to hit the like button. If you look under this video, you'll see this button. I want you to click on it. You understand? It helps this video rank a little higher. Alright, so click this button and then scroll down and click this subscribe button. So thank you very much. What do you think about what I said? What do you think about giving tithes? What do you think about Freeze? And what do you think about Dr. Abel Damina? Is he like the truest pastor in Nigeria? Is he like the most straightforward pastor in Nigeria? The most non-crooked pastor? I've known this guy for like 5 years right now. I knew him when he was still. Alright, so let me hear what you think and how it goes. Thank you very much. See you in the next video and in the comments. Dave Partner, peace out.